least for Raila, I know that he picked the heart in his eye through a policeman who, during interrogation, hit him with a chair in the face. And that injury has remained permanent since. As for me, I realized I had my eye problems for the first time inside the committee. I used not to understand when I looked, because I was kept under permanent light, and I began to see stars whenever I looked at the wall, until I had to request being taken to Kenyatta National Hospital for eye treatment. And it's from then that I started wearing eyeglasses.
Koigi, when you and Raila were both prisoners, what kind of bond did you two form behind those cold prisons war?
I met Raila in the institution of terror that is called detention without trial. He told me of his experience in the other detentions, because he had, immediately after his detention, he was taken to Naivasha, I think. And Naivasha was a very brutal prison. So when he was taken back to committee, I was able to meet him. And of course, later we were taken to Manyani, which was also equally bad. I was taken to Shimolatewa, which was also a very bad prison. From Shimolatewa, some of us were taken to Hola, the place where the colonial government used it for purposes of breaking up stubborn prisoners and detainees.
Many Kenyans know that you and Raila shared prison cells at Kamete. What is the most unforgettable thing Raila ever said to you during those painful moments of interrogation and suffering?
What Raila told me that was notable, most notable, was that if I wanted to survive, I had to make sure that I did not misdefine the enemy before us. Because he told me that it is very easy for somebody in prison to mistake the prison structures of prison as the real enemy, while in fact the enemy was bigger than that. It was the system outside and those who organized it against us. And if I did not understand that I had to brace myself up for the long-term detention, I would get broken before I knew. So that was very important for me.
You and Raila later found yourself in exile in Norway. Why Norway?
We settled for Norway because we had to look for a place where we could get support. We agreed that Norway and Sweden would be good places for us to go to. So we sought asylum with them.
What memories of the exile in Norway remain etched in your mind?
Of the efficiency of the system of social democracy is what impressed me most, because you cannot fight a system unless you are able to dissect you are able to understand it in terms of ideology. And because at that time, people were arguing that only capitalism could develop a country. But some of us did not agree. I was convinced that development per se is not enough. It has to be able to distribute resources. Here in Kenya, for instance, because of the capitalist system that we have, our system continues to get worse by the day. Its distribution has completely collapsed. We only have a system which insists it is okay to have bad leadership. It is okay to have a bad economic system, although such a system will inevitably introduce people to corruption. It is a system that seems to breed and enjoy corruption, poverty. It was a system that uses tribalism or negative ethnicity as a means of governing the country and ensuring that people remain in conflict and at war with one another. So, it is Norway, therefore, that taught me, that convinced me 100% that what we need to develop, as Malaysia has or as Singapore has, only a system which has social democracy will free us from tyranny of bad economy.
You are both branded radicals, dissidents, even enemies of the state. Looking back, do you think Raila's defiance was driven more by anger, ideology, or pure love of this country?
Pure love of this country is what motivated Raila, myself. So we were not mercenaries. Raila was not a mercenary at all. He was a great fighter of what he believed in. We wished that we didn't have to fight, that we could develop our country freely and put it at the best level of development possible. Raila is a great person of great mind.
When you think of those long, lonely exile days in Norway, what did you and Raila talk about most? About Kenya's pain, the struggle, or the dream of coming home?
First of all, we needed to come home, because even if you got everything in Norway, there are many other things. You missed your country. You missed your country which you wanted to live in. Nothing can completely satisfy someone who is settled in another country permanently, because you may not be accepted by that other country, even if it is more developed than your country.
Raila has been described as a deal maker, a freedom fighter, and a statesman. Koigi, you knew him differently. How would you describe Raila, the man behind the public image?
He's a great fighter. He's a great for causes that he believes in. Of course, Raila sometimes would tell me that in the struggle, you may use, there are times when you need to use tactics, and other times when you may need to use long-term strategies to achieve your goal. So there are times when Raila seemed to be compromising and to be giving in to the government.
During the height of torture at Nyayo House, when hope seemed lost, what gave Raila his strength? And did he ever break down or express despair?
Raila never expressed despair.
What went through your mind as you watched people eulogize him on TV?
I was happy that people could do that for him.
Do you believe Raila has been accorded the kind of honor and respect he truly deserved, both in life and in death?
Yes, he has. Remember, people do not fight for prices, for material benefits. People are in the struggle because they believe that they are best human beings when fighting for justice, when fighting for freedom, when fighting for whatever they need to be able to become better people or lead better lives.
When the state declared Raila's funeral a national event, what message did that send to you about Kenya's political journey from oppression to reconciliation?
They strike me as unnecessary and also as unfair. Ultimately, I don't know whether Raila can defend the wealth that he has been able to gather while he has been together with Moi, for instance, or with Uhuru, or with Kibaki. At least, I think Raila has made sure if we cannot beat them, join them. And I think it is an unfortunate strategy, because when you are eating alone, you have no time to share with others. So I really hope that if Raila were to come back to life, I don't know how he would take the state visit, the state funeral that he has been accorded. I think he would consider it unfortunate that it has to happen. We should have funerals that are called everyone. When we have state funerals for some people, it is because we disregard the good life for everybody else. And it is something that we do as a result of failure rather than triumph.
You once risked your life for the same ideals Raila fought for. In your view, did Kenya ever achieve the freedom and justice that both
of us fought for?
Yes.
Far from it. In fact, we have been retrogressing in many areas. Instead of moving, the only people that I see truly happy for what they have are the civil servants that worked with Kenyatta and Moi and Kibaki. These are the people that I consider the system as it is to be flawless. And they do so because they are selfish and they consider what they have to be what they deserve, though not everybody. It's good that we fought for these things. It is bad that we have not been able to get them. And when I say we, I mean everybody. We should not have a system that caters for the needs of a few only.
If Raila were alive today and you had one last conversation with him, what would you tell him and what do you think he would tell you?
The experience that he has gone through since he passed away will be very important to decide what kind of thing he might want to tell me. Because personally, I would express regret that even in death there is inequality, that even in values there is still inequality. It doesn't matter what form of a burial the state gives you. There is discomfort about with unequal funerals that makes us difficult to embrace them. I think that probably Raila would tell me, you are right, Koigi, because since I left here and came back, there is nothing that has made me a better person than I was.
Looking at the new generation of Kenyan leaders, do you see anyone with the courage, conviction, and fire that defined Raila and your generation of fighters?
We were Gen Zs of our own times, let me put it that way. We suffered for daring to be Gen Zs. And the system did what it could against us, short of eliminating us. Although most of us were eliminated, but some survived, just like the Gen Zs of today. Some Gen Zs are bound to step forward and follow our footsteps. That I am 100% sure. I may not be alive. I will probably be gone. But the struggle itself will succeed, however long it takes. Ultimately, God allows those who are good to triumph over those who are evil. Evil people are powerful when their power lasts, but they do not last forever.
Finally, Koigi, when history writes about Raila Odinga and Koigi Wamwere, the two men who refused to bow to dictatorship, what do you hope it will say about your friendship and your shared fight for Kenya's second liberation?
When history judges us, it will be with some kind of kindness, because we have done what is right. We have done what we could not avoid to do. We have sacrificed everything for collective good. I have hope. Raila is not with us, but he's what he believes in is still shared among us. We are not the only ones who have progressive minds or who would like to see more benefits from our struggles.
Koigi Wamwere has broken his silence, and his words cut deep into Kenya's political history like a blade through memory. In an emotional recollection, the veteran freedom fighter revealed the chilling moment that changed Raila Odinga's life forever. The day a cruel policeman crippled Raila's eye using nothing more than a broken chair. According to Koigi, it happened in one of those dark cells where silence screamed louder than pain. Raila had been beaten, tortured, and humiliated, but it was that final blow, the shattered piece of metal chair swung by a raging officer, that left his eye permanently damaged. Yet, even through agony, Raila refused to surrender. They tried to break him, Koigi said solemnly, but they only made him stronger. The story paints a haunting picture of the brutality that Kenya's heroes endured under dictatorship. Raila's wounded eye became more than a scar. It became a symbol of defense, sacrifice, and the price of freedom. From the darkness of Nyayo torture chambers to the bright lights of Kasarani tributes, this revelation reminds Kenyans that democracy was not given, it was bled for. And that was the moment history turned red with pain, when a broken chair became the weapon that scared a nation's hero. But from that scar, a movement was born. Raila Odinga did not lose his vision that day. He gained a clear sight of what Kenya could come. His damaged eyes saw beyond oppression. It saw freedom. Beyond pain, it saw purpose. Today, Koigi's revelation is not just a memory, it's a warning and a lesson. Freedom has a price, and Raila paid it in full. From Sauti Mzalendo, we say, heroes may bleed, but they never bow. Raila's eye may have dimmed, but his vision will forever light the path of Kenya's democracy. Today, as the nation mourns Raila Odinga, Koigi's words echo across generations. The pain in Raila's eye is the light that opened Kenya's democracy.